everyone. Welcome to this week's live series, Empower Hour. I'm Lindsay Helm, the founder and CEO of Empower Employ. And Empower Employ provides sourcing, education, staffing solutions for the military community. And here on Empower Employ, we will be introducing the game changers and advocates in the employment landscape in the community. This week, I'm so honored to be excuse me. I'm so honored to be joined by two wonderful guests of Travelers Insurance. I have Julie Galloway with me today and Jim McMahon. And Julie leads a recruiting team within Travelers and their talent acquisition. She's at her sixth year with over 30 years of experience. And Jim is somebody that I am really excited to talk to you guys about because he's been really essential here at Empower Employee. And with remote employment for spouses, he leads the military and veteran outreach program. And as part of insurance, or as part of Travelers, is the second largest commercial property and casualty company in the United States. And Travelers has been recognized many times by Military Times as the best vets for employer throughout the year for 2022. So welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, Julie and Jim. Hey,
Thanks, Lindsay.
So thanks for joining me again today, and let's just go ahead and get right to it. I'm super excited. So Julie, could you take a minute to tell us about your journey and how you ended up with Travelers?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times people will want to know, how did you get into insurance? Because many times we end up here by accident. And my story is kind of the same. I'm an HR professional by trade. You had mentioned that I have 30 years of recruiting experience, and it was outside of the insurance industry for the first 20. And then I came to work for an insurance company on their talent acquisition team and then transitioned to Travelers in 2016. So as you mentioned, I'm in my sixth year. And then right now, I'm considered what you would call a recruiting manager. So I have a team of recruiters that I work with, and we fill a lot of our service center positions within Travelers, specifically our customer service for personal insurance, claim, business insurance, and so forth, which I know we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, kind of, accidentally got into insurance, but found it to be a great career and allows me to continue my HR profession with a wonderful company that's been around for a long time.
Well, thank you for sharing. And Jim, I think that you also have a very important story. How did you end up with at Travelers, and what's your current role there?
Thanks, Lindsay. I've been here about 17 years. Previously, I was with another health insurance company and started in a role very similar to Julie's as a recruiting manager and lead. And so Travelers, just briefly, about 30% of our business is personal insurance products. So homeowners and auto, things that you and I would all purchase. I was the staffing lead for personal insurance, and then I moved over to be the staffing lead for business insurance, which is about 70% of our business. Everything from small mom and pop shops, Main Street USA, to some of the largest multinationals. And an insurance company is essentially a risk management company, and everybody associated with the military, the military personnel themselves, as well as military spouses, are familiar with risk. And we're risk management folks coming out of the military, understand risk. So it's a great partnership. A number of years ago, kind of off the corner of my desk, started interacting and recruiting military, and that's just really become a full-time job. It's not just recruiting, but it's relationships with some nonprofit partners. If the audience is familiar with American Corporate Partners, they provide mentors for transitioning military and military spouses. I help manage that program, as well as some other interactions with various military-related service organizations around the country. So, and you and I think are LinkedIn buddies from a number of years ago, where we started connecting, and you helped identify some primarily military spouses for us to hire. So, great to be here, with you and your audience today.
Well, thank you. So, Jim, who helped you get to where you are here at Travelers? Do you have a mentor that you would like to recognize, or that was part of your journey for transition?
I don't think it's just one person. So if I name one person, I'm going to probably leave out a half a dozen others. What I would say for myself And again, trying to, I guess, share some wisdom with the audience. Find mentors, find people that have kind of, walked the walk before you, and ask great questions and listen to them. And that would be my advice. So a whole bunch of folks have helped me along the way.
Gotcha. And Julie, what piece of advice would you give after hearing Jim's response? Is there a mentor or somebody that helped you get to where you are?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like him, probably no one person. I think my advice as far as how I got to where I am is be willing to do the work that you're asking others to do, right? So I'm fortunate to be in a leadership role now, but I'm a grassroots kind of person. And at a lot of the companies that I've been at, I've started, in a lower level position and worked my way up. And then you kind of know the value and the contribution that everybody makes throughout the organization. And I think that's important, especially when you are in a leadership position.
Well, that's really good advice to reshare. I have a really great team of mentors here as well, and been mentioned them multiple times. Would not be where I am today without them. So, I know Jim mentioned that we had all connected in the past, and that as a volunteer, I helped Jim identify some military talent before I met you, Julie, which is really great. It's kind of part of one of the reasons I felt so called to be here today. So it's really fun to take this full circle. I know that. In the past, we've seen a lot out of travelers for customer service, but what I wanted to really dig deep into is that travelers insurance for their military programs and career site is so much more than customer service. Literally, like, let's take it back to the old day. I feel like with travelers, you can like be whatever you want to be. Anybody remember that slogan in the army? Okay, so it's just me. I just told you guys how old I am. It's fine. So leading into that, Jim or Julie, what are you currently working on right now? I'd really like to highlight, some of your catastrophe roles. I know you've got some tech roles. I know we've got this new launch of the military career site. So, one of you, I don't mind which one. I would love to see you walk through it and talk about what you're currently working on, and why it's exciting for the community.
Yeah. And maybe I can start, and Jim, if you don't mind, then you can kind of fill in the gaps or pick up where I left off. And I think when we're
Absolutely.
talking about our military partners, Lindsay, I think of it as two different audiences. So we have certain positions that we are openly recruiting for military spouses, right? Because we know that they want to have a career even as they, follow their enlisted spouse as you PCS around the country. And so we have some positions, and you reference like our call center positions and so forth. But then I think the other audience, or the other half of the audience, are those military individuals that are finishing their military career, transitioning out, and then want to start a civilian career, and some of the opportunities that we can offer there. Jim was talking about us being a risk management company at the heart. And, there are many positions for someone who's transitioning out of the military into civilian life where they can use the skills and resources that they've learned in their military professional career and apply them to a civilian career. So I think as you look at our career site, many times, and Jim will probably be the first one to say, our claims professions are ones that we encourage people to look at, because it's more the soft skills versus having previous claims experience. Um, especially if someone is starting their career at the trainee level, because we are willing to train people as they transition into the insurance industry. So again, I think it's a little bit of both, right? It's the military spouse audience, and again, some of those positions are specific for our customer service roles, but then any of our positions are open to everybody as long as the location, aligns with where they physically can report to, because some of our positions at Travelers are in office. Some of them might allow the ability to work fully remote. And again, each individual job posting would specify that, Lindsay. So it's hard to sit here and paint a broad brush when there's a lot of detail in each one of the job postings. But Jim, what would you like to add to that?
Um, I love the fact that you talked about claim. And so to kind of scope this a little bit, we have 30,000 employees, give or take, in the US, and we know a little over 1,000 have current or former military experience. So examples in the claim world, if you were banging dents out of a Humvee, we'd make you an auto adjuster because you've essentially already done the job. You've made the decision to either fix the vehicle or scrap it, which is what a claim adjuster does when they roll up to your driveway or they roll up to, a body shop. Um, if you were Army engineers, if you were Navy Seabees, if you've got any kind of a construction background, if you were demolitions and you know how to blow up a bridge or how to blow up a building, literally, you understand the structural integrity, we'd make you a property adjuster. Again, the person that goes and surveys the damage. But then beyond that, we have former CID agents and MPs that are fraud investigators. We have probably 600 nurses employed in the company in associated with our workers' compensation book of business. And we hire a lot of former military nurses. So if you had a great career in the military as a nurse, if you're with the VA as a nurse, but at a particular point in time, you may not want to do the clinical route anymore. And so, our tagline on that is no nights, no weekends, no holidays. It's an 8 to 5 job. Come talk to us from that perspective. Risk control engineers. We've got folks that are out consulting on safety. If you're familiar with hazardous waste, if you're familiar with just safety inspections, and again, everybody in the military is, there's those kinds of roles. And then technology and our vice president of cybersecurity is a retired O5 out of the Air Force. She joined us about 2 years ago. I mean, we've got a lot of examples throughout the organization. And then what has really been kind of I'm going to call it the blessing in disguise with COVID. 2 years ago, when we went remote, we were really able to look at our hiring model a little bit differently. We were training remotely, we were hiring remotely, we were working remotely. And that's where a lot of the opportunities that Julie and her team recruit for, they're customer facing, that they're incredibly important jobs. So customer care associates. You have to report a claim to your insurance company. It's a bad day if you're calling your insurance company, right? But you had an auto accident or you had a kitchen fire, and that first point of contact is the person that's going to, triage it. What happened, and assure you that we're going to take care of it. That's one of the roles that Julie's team will recruit for that is ideal for military spouses. The role can be remote and can be portable. So if and when you PCS, you take the job with you. We've got insurance service reps. Again, you're buying a new car, you need an insurance card, or your child has passed their driver's test and you want to add them to your policy, you call your insurance company. And again, another role that Julie and her team recruits for. But then again, beyond that, as she said, every role, some are remote, some are in offices. We just love hiring military personnel
Mhm.
and more recently military spouses. So
Yeah.
I'll shut up now.
Now,
No,
Jim, I was just gonna, Lindsay, if you don't mind, I was gonna put in one quick plug. So I know Jim talked about, having about 1,000 employees. Here at Travelers, we try very hard to create a diverse and inclusive workforce. And so we also have employee resource groups, and one of the employee resource groups we have are military veterans and allies, and so that's a very active employee resource group. So it's great because it allows people to connect with others of like minds and like interests and like history and so forth. So that's just something that employees here can take advantage of, is being part of something like that to make the workplace feel even more inclusive to them. So that's all.
Mhm.
Just wanted to plug that.
Yeah,
yeah,
and,
and I
and,
can.
and actually,
Oh,
if I can jump back in with one more, and Lindsay, this is one that I know you're familiar with because you've been assisting in trying to find some folks for us. We have a catastrophe response team, and that's not something that is all that necessarily well known. So again, if you're coming out of the military, well, first of all, the insurance industry is not necessarily a career destination for anyone. Of the 30,000 employees, I think 29,500 of us never dreamed we'd work for an insurance company. And the stereotype is insurance means sales. Honestly, it does not mean sales. The analogy I'll give you is aircraft carrier has about 5,500 personnel assigned to it, and only 120 are pilots. Less than 2% of the personnel of an aircraft carrier are doing what you would think the job of the aircraft carrier is. Fly planes off of it. So like less than 2% of our employees are actually in sales. The 98% do something different. And a group of them, we get about 250. They're our special forces. They're the first strike team. So hurricanes, wildfires, tornadoes, ice storms in the Northeast in the winter, whatever. This group will deploy on 24 hours notice and may stay in a location up to 4 weeks. And they go out as a team, depending on the severity of the catastrophe. They may go out as a team of 4 or 5, or we may send 300 people out. So that sense of camaraderie, the sense of the team, and they're out helping people. And we've got I think 20-25 openings right now, bringing in a class. We're going to train individuals, and we love hiring former military. Again, the line I've used in some cases, like special forces, you're willing to jump out of airplanes, right, to help people. Well, are you willing to jump on an airplane to go help someone? And it's just, we have a lot of cool careers that are, I think, really ideal for military and military spouses. And with your help, we're getting the word out to the community that, we've got some great career opportunities.
Yeah, and I really wanted to highlight there. And I'm going to go out on a limb in front of everybody and put my name on it and just say, I've personally seen the impact of these remote opportunities. I've seen moms return to work and start building. I think my favorite story is somebody that I saw who's in my personal network, but also professional network. She posted, I got hired with Travelers. And then you saw like the birthday parties that came after it and all these celebrations. And I am assuming that her new role helped contribute to that. So it must have been really, valuable in that way. So I only have a couple more questions for you guys, and I'm really glad that we got to talk about catastrophe. I know this morning I talked, and I see him on here earlier. I talked with a transitioning service member, has 30 days left, and I said, why don't you come listen to what Travelers has to offer? And he actually showed up today. So just a quick 2 more questions. Kind of what's the process at Travelers? I think for the customer service roles, I know a little bit about it, but I'd like to hear you all talk about, application. I know sometimes people miss the notification for assessments and those kinds of things. So could we just do a quick, brief overview of what that looks like and what to expect? Because it looks like somebody in the comment, Tia, said, hey, I applied. I'm looking forward to hearing from the hiring managers. Just want to make sure she didn't miss a step or, has or hasn't heard from somebody.
Yep. Happy to field that question. So first of all, our career site has all of our current openings. So the career site is constantly changing. So we encourage people to visit that. And of course, if you're within Lindsay's network and she is pushing information out directly to you, please follow those links to review the job and apply if that's what you're looking for. So after you have selected a position and completed the online application, then you'll get an email that says you've successfully completed your online application, and a recruiter will review the information. So that's your cue to let you know that you accurately completed that first step and got your application on file with Travelers. And then some of our positions are, they are assessment based. So they have like a pre-employment assessment attached to them. And if the job does, then you would get a notification that the assessment is the next step in the process. And so then you would complete that. So a lot of our claims positions, Lindsay, and then also our customer service positions have a customer service assessment. So yeah, you would, anytime you apply, not just with Travelers, but I'll just give some general recruiting advice. Anytime that you are applying to jobs, you want to make sure that you keep an eye on your spam filter, your junk email, just in case some important notifications are getting caught up and land in there. So I would encourage everybody to watch those, especially at a time when you're expecting some response from some companies and so forth. And then what happens is our recruiting team, so we have an in-house recruiting team here at Travelers, and then we review all the candidates that apply to the position, and then we provide updates via email or via phone as far as statuses at that point. If people are selected for further consideration, usually it's at least an interview with a talent acquisition recruiter to vet the candidate further for their match of their skills to the position, and then so on and so forth, whether they progress to a hiring manager interview and so forth. So again, I know that's very fast and high level, but it kind of gives you an idea of where to start with the online application and go from there.
Awesome. Well, I'm just going to ask you guys one last question. We covered a ton of information and got through everything. And that's, what's the best way to get in contact with your teams? I've applied, I've responded. Do I need to follow up? What's the process there?
Yeah, and I think the best thing is, I hate to say we'll call you, but please know that we have your information. All of us are very active on social media, so especially on LinkedIn. So anyone is welcome to, reach out to Jim or I and connect on social media, as well as Travelers has a Travelers Careers page on Facebook. So we encourage you to, look at that as well or follow that for opportunities. And then, like I said, we have your information, and then the recruiters will be in touch after they've had a chance to review, and then you'll get notifications via email. So watch your electronic communication for notifications from Travelers as well.
Gotcha. And Jim, I'm going to ask you a closing question that I ask everybody. What was your favorite duty station and why?
Actually, Lindsay, you may not know this, but I never served in the military. I
Oh,
became a military guy, and I can't figure this out. My dad served, my brother did. I'm the black sheep of the family. I never did. Um, so yeah, I can't answer that one, but if I can, final words of wisdom, I guess. Let me pivot off of that, particularly for the military spouses out in the audience. Tell us you're a military spouse. And I know that a number of you try to mask that, you try to hide it. Some companies will not give you an opportunity, right? Let's be perfectly honest. We look for reasons to say yes, not reasons to say no. But we look at what your abilities are, not what you haven't done. So you have gaps in the resume, great, that's fine. If you've been volunteering, you've been running your family. Julie, how many military spouses? We talk to them all the time, right? Your team is always talking to military spouses, and be proud of it. I mean, we really embrace the experience and the skills and the passion that our military spouses bring. So that just don't hide the fact, highlight the fact.
well, and I love that you said that, and that would be the follow-on question. The pivot was going to be, what's your favorite military hiring story, or something that you'd want to share, and you definitely covered that. So I want to thank both of you so much for joining us today and for your continued support of the military community in so many ways. And I'm so honored to have you as partners and have you part of the community changing ways. So again, thanks so much. And everyone who is watching, if you want to reach out to Jim or Julie, you've got their LinkedIn. So if you want to learn more about Empower Employee, our sourcing, our technology, our training programs as an employer, or just get involved in the community, please reach out to me directly at www.empoweremployee.us. Tune in next week for our next guest to discuss the game-changing space, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Lindsay. Appreciate it.